In the quiet corners of the city, where the streets whisper secrets of the past, there lived a man known as Brooklyn T. Guy. A jack of all trades, doctor, police officer, firefighter, he wore many hats, but beneath them lurked a haunting burden. As a doctor, Brooklyn T. Guy had seen life slip through his fingers, patience fading away despite his best efforts. As a police officer, his hands were forced to take actions that ended lives in the name of law, and as a firefighter, he bore the scars of those he couldn't save from the raging infernos. One fateful night, as the moon hung low, casting eerie shadows on the streets, Brooklyn T. Guy found himself walking home, his mind a maze of remorse and regret. The air was unnaturally still, the city's hum muted as if it too were holding its breath. Suddenly, the silence was shattered by whispers, soft at first, then growing louder, more insistent. Failure, they hissed. Guilty. The voices of the lost. The ones he couldn't save. The ones he had to stop. Each word was a dagger to his soul, and he quickened his pace, trying to outrun the accusing chorus. But the whispers turned to wails, and shadowy figures began to emerge from the darkness. Spectral apparitions of patients, criminals, and victims of fire, all converging on him, their eyes hollow with accusation. Brooklyn T. Guy, driven by fear and guilt, ran through the empty streets, the phantoms in relentless pursuit. He arrived at his home, panting and drenched in a cold sweat, slamming the door behind him. But the barrier of wood and metal was no match for the curse he carried. Inside his home, the air grew thick, charged with a palpable sense of dread. The walls echoed with the cries of the lost souls, their presence suffocating. Pictures fell from the walls, their glass shattering like the fragments of his fractured sanity. In the depths of the night, Brooklyn T. Guy faced the torment of his past deeds, the phantoms of those he failed as a doctor, those he ended as a cop, and those he couldn't rescue as a firefighter, thrilled around him. As dawn broke, the haunting ceased, the apparitions vanishing with the first light. Exhausted and broken, Brooklyn T. Guy emerged from his home, a shell of the man he once was. The curse of his many roles had taken its toll, leaving an indelible mark on his soul. Whispers around the city spoke of that night, of the man haunted by the specters of his past. They say Brooklyn T. Guy was never the same, his eyes forever shadowed with the weight of the curse. And so, in the heart of the city, under the watchful gaze of the moon, the tale of Brooklyn T. Guy lives on, a reminder of the fragile lines between duty and destiny, and the haunting consequences of the choices we make.